Naomi Osaka brings out the Rockets in France. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? In this packed house, sold out stadium, they had a treat today. As always, this video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, the Fair Dealing, and the Digital Millennium Act. Naomi Osaka is back, ladies and gentlemen. Despite 6 double faults, she won 81% of her first serves today. 63% of Yuvon's second serves, 53% of her first serves. Osaka had several opportunities to break Yuvon. How about 8? And she put on a very stellar performance. It seemed like she's back. Now, Yuvon has really good angles. She can cut off the court. This is why I told you to take her in a pick'em her last time out, playing a very tough match against Victoria Golubic. Now, Yuvon's back. She's had several injuries. She's 17-7 on the year after only playing 2 matches all of last season due to injury. But Iga's bestie is a very talented player. I'm glad she's back, and it's great to see her make this championship match. Now, this is the type of final, if Sloane Stephens wasn't injured, she would probably be playing in this tournament, you know, if she had an early exit in Madrid. But this is the type of tournament the fans love to see players like Osaka, Yuvon, Sloane Stephens, right? McCartney Kessler. These amazing players that may not get the notoriety that they should, but they're solid on tour. And I want to congratulate Osaka for winning this championship. This would actually be her second title. Remember, she was up a set in Auckland earlier this year against Clara Tauson. She was 1 set away from winning that title. She had to retire due to that. I want to say it was the abdominal injury. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but Osaka, you can tell she's been injured. She's not healthy. She hasn't been able to serve well, which is why she's lost so many matches this year. I mean, only 6, but a lot of those 6 losses have been the result of her not being healthy. Now, congratulations, Osaka. She wins this in straight sets. 80% of her first serves won. Already, guys, she's 13-6 on the year. This is going to give her 14 wins. She's already more than half of her win total of all of last season. And if we go back the last 5 years, guys, remember 2019, she had a 40-win season, 18, a 40-win season. She's literally already exceeded her win total per year going back the last 5 years. So for the most part, she's playing solid tennis now, at least in this tournament, where she took out some really good names. I mean, Leola John's a good clay player. Elsa Jackmont, very strong, powerful serve. Diane Perry just lives on clay, amazing clay talent. And Marcinko. Congratulations, Osaka wins this title. But I want to, and Yuvon here was so deflated here when she made this mistake. Yuvon was actually up 4-2 in the second set. Osaka would come back down a break and take this title in straight sets. But I want to talk about Yuvon's bestie, Iga Swiatek, ladies and gentlemen. What's wrong with Iga? I don't know, guys, but we got to go back to where it all started, right? This drama with the ITIA last Cincinnati, last summer. You knew something wasn't right. And by the way, our condolences to, she recently lost a family member. We want to send our condolences to Iga and her family because, look, the last thing you want to think about is playing a game when you have real life situations going on. But aside from the off-court issues and situations going on, we want to talk about tennis, right? This is a tennis network. Even before Madrid, you could tell something was wrong with Iga Swiatek. If we go back to last season, Iga Swiatek has lost, over 30 sets of tennis? I want to say 34. Something's not right. Something is not right. She's lost over 30 sets of tennis. She has not won a title in, I want to say, 11 main tour events. And there's several other events sprinkled in there, but 11 official WTA events. Iga has not won a title in 11 straight. She's got 2 more titles left to defend this year, which is Rome and the French Open. But listen, guys, she's still the favorite to win the French Open, but I want your feedback. Do you think she's going to win the French Open? I don't think Iga's going to win the French Open this year. And I've said it in the past, if Iga doesn't win the French Open, I think confidence-wise, that's going to be a big blow to what she feels she can do on clay. Even though, look, we know she's got a 90% win rate on clay. For the most part, that has dropped a little bit the last few years. She's still probably regarded, I would say she's still regarded as the best clay player, even though Aryna Sabalenka, and we're going to talk about Aryna next, because I don't think Aryna gets the respect she deserves. And I want to know why you guys think that. But I would love your feedback. Iga's 26-8 on the year. We all know Sabalenka now has a huge lead over Iga Swiatek, several thousand points. So it doesn't look like Iga is going to be getting that number one spot this year, especially if she doesn't defend the French Open. If she doesn't defend the French Open, forget about it, because we know despite having success as a junior on grass, Iga professionally hasn't been a great grass player overall. I mean, her record on grass, it's only 18-8 for her career as a professional. She doesn't play a lot of grass. She just doesn't. She only played 3 matches on grass last year. Now, if we go back a couple years ago to the 23 season, she did have the opportunity to win a grass championship, but she withdrew and she went straight to SW19, giving, I want to say, Bronzetti the opportunity to compete there. And I think it was against Katerina, if I'm not mistaken, where Bronzetti would lose. But is there something wrong with Iga Swiatek, guys? Comment below. I would love your feedback. Of course, these are the images crying when she faced Coco Gauff. And Coco was emotional as well against her loss to Aryna Sabalenka. But comment below, is there something wrong with Iga? She's lost over 30 sets of tennis going back to last summer in Cincinnati. She has not won a title in 11 main tour events. And I don't know, I kind of said it last year. I think mentally players are not scared of her anymore. It's that Mike Tyson effect. You can go in the ring, you're not scared of what he or she can do to you, and it just gives you more confidence to hang in there longer and longer and eventually try and steal the match. I think that's what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the stuff she was doing before, a lot of the mental tactics, they're just not working anymore. Should we be concerned? Now, let's talk about Aryna Sabalenka hits hard, ladies and gentlemen. I have a question for you guys. Why does Aryna Sabalenka not get the respect she possibly deserves? Right? 26 years old, right? She's got a birthday coming up tomorrow, right? That couldn't have been a better birthday gift. So let's just say she's 27 years old, 6 years older than Coco, which is a lot when it comes to professional tennis. Sabalenka has 3 Grand Slams. That's right, guys. We know she won the Australian Open twice and the U.S. Open. She also won 2 more double slams with Elisa Mertens. Why doesn't she get the respect she deserves? She's got 20 main tour championships, 3 this year already, right? She won Brisbane, Miami, and Madrid. The first to win Miami and Madrid since, I want to say, Serena Williams in the same year. Yeah, and Serena did that in 2013. She's even got 6 lower level titles, but we're not going to talk about those. 460 wins on the main tour. Right. And of course, she's predominantly a hard court player, over 275 wins on hard. Number 1. But why doesn't she get the respect she deserves? Is it, and this is what I think, this is just my personal opinion, because her record in finals is 20-17. So she's made 37 professional tour championship matches, right? But she's only won 20 of them. 20-17 in final appearances, where Coco, you take a look at someone like Coco Gauff, who, aside from that loss yesterday against Aryna Sabalenka in finals, I mean, Coco's like, she wins 80% of her finals. Sabalenka's barely winning 50% of her finals. Is that why she doesn't get the respect? I think so. But she's been consistent. And again, with her surge lately, I mean, because the 24 season, you know, there was this focus of the big 3, this talk. Was it Iga, Sabalenka, Elena Rybakina? Where was Coco? Even though Coco was ranked number 3, she was kind of getting ignored. But aside from Iga, that big 3 talk between Sabalenka, Coco, and Elena Rybakina, they were all neck and neck when it came to going back the last few seasons in terms of winning titles. They were all very comparable. And this, of course, was before, because this talk was about last winter, January. So essentially before Sabalenka had defended the Australian Open and before she won the U.S. Open. They were all about neck and neck in titles won the last few years. Now, fast forward, Iga Swiatek slipping, fading out of the picture. Sabalenka now regarded as the queen of hard court. She would end up winning 4 titles last year. She's got 3 already this year. And by the way, the titles last year, the Australian Open Slam, the U.S. Open Slam, and mixed in between there, she had a few other, right? She had Wuhan and she had Cincinnati. Now, the Cincinnati title, a lot of, you had all the players coming back from France. They had to switch from clay back to hard. A lot of them didn't have their form. So people kind of said, okay, she got it. She played DC. She stayed in the States. She was warmed up to the hard courts. But and you just saw how bad Coco performed in Canada, right? A little rusty, making a lot of mistakes. But right now, it's fair to say she's the queen of hard court. And with Iga Swiatek slipping on clay, I don't know. Could Sabalenka win the French Open? If she does win the French Open, then I think we might have to put a little bit more respect on her name. I think we should have to do that anyway. But again, why is Sabalenka not getting the respect she deserves? She's not really mentioned as much as Iga and Coco or even Elena Rybakina, who's had so many off-court issues. Why is that? Is it because of the antics, all of the issues in the past? I think so, ladies and gentlemen. It will catch up with you eventually. Now, I talked about how mentally mature Sabalenka has been the last year and a half. Occasionally, she loses it, she slips, but the walking off early during the trophy ceremonies, the pouting, the slamming the rackets, the yelling, the outbursts at her camp. I think her public image, even though she's repairing it, it's getting better. She's dancing a lot in her TikTok videos. She's showing her softer, humorous side. I think it is working, but I think overall she doesn't get the respect she deserves because of a lot of that stuff in the past. And look, the past is the past. She's still a young, beautiful woman. She's still growing up, learning. So I think from now on, guys, we might have to take a look at Sabalenka as arguably one of the all-time greats of this era. Why not? 20 titles, 3 slams? And I'm going to pose the community question. How we've focused on Coco and Iga, but it's time we start asking Aryna Sabalenka, because Osaka's got 4 slams. Sabalenka's already got 3. It's time we start asking the question, how many slams will Aryna Sabalenka end her career with? We're going to do that right now in the community. Tennis in a minute, guys. Comment below. What's wrong with Iga? And why does Aryna Sabalenka not get the respect she deserves? 20 main tour titles, 3 slams on the single side, 2 on the double side. I want to know. Tennis in a minute. We'll be back.